Hello friends, it's Dave here from SaveDecks.
And I'm Sophie.
Video game music has a special place in all of our hearts. Good game music is there to motivate you, immerse you in the game's world, and all round be pleasant to listen to. And some of it can be incredibly catchy and never leave your head.
Now we know games like Mario, Sonic, Zelda, Final Fantasy and so many more have the most memorable and well-known music tracks going, but we are sticking exclusively to indie games for this list.
And when we say most memorable or catchy, we don't automatically mean good. We could have excellent tracks like this one from Shovel Knight, or we could have... Don't worry, this one isn't on the list. But it would be eligible as it is very catchy, no matter how annoying it is.
Bear in mind, we are not saying these are our favourite pieces of music from indie games, but the ones that just stayed in our heads and would not leave us.
So this is a very personal list, and no doubt your list will be very different to ours. So share with us in the comments which indie game music you found impossible to shake off, whether it is a good thing or bad. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. That would be a good thing, not bad. And this isn't an order of preference either, just 10 picks from us in a random order.
And as always, we don't want to spoil what's coming up on the list in the intro, so what you have heard so far are our honourable mentions. Here are our 10 indie video game music tracks that got stuck in our heads.
I love shantae games. Have I said that enough? Half Genie Hero is my favourite, from the Metroidvania style exploration in self-contained levels, the animal transformations, the beautiful graphics, and an extremely likeable cast. But the music is also outstanding, and each time I visit Scuttletown Square I get greeted with this. It's a decent song overall, but that intro to it is the part I've heard the most, and that part alone I always end up going through in my head. I'm so glad I got the soundtrack CD with this game.
Adventure Pals is a quirky and kooky 2D platformer with a boy and his giraffe Sparkles. Oh, and his mate Mr. Rock. Someone has nicked your dad, so off you go on an adventure to collect gems, beat up some baddies, and liberate old people from their hot dog bodies. Oh yes, and to rescue your dad. The music for this game for the most part is super fun and upbeat, giving you a sense that this game is going to be fast-paced and exciting, which it is. For me though, there is one very memorable track in this game, and that is the overworld map music. It's extremely chilled and actually at times a welcome break from the chaotic madness that you have just endured in each level.
Growing up with Banjo-Kazooie as my favourite game, I just love the 3D platformer collectathons. The music in that game was phenomenal, but when the developers made a spiritual successor in Yooka-Laylee, I was excited. Will this really capture the essence of the Banjo games? Will it be as fun? Will it grab me as much? Of course it won't be as good as Banjo, nothing with a nostalgic grab on me can be topped, but will this have the same charm to it? My doubts were immediately erased when I heard that opening menu music. Man, this just put me right into that Banjo mood and ready for some buddy duo 3D platforming. It may just be the menu music, but this song is always the one I think of when I think of Yooka-Laylee, and it made me feel like I was home, and it is very welcome to live in my head.
Daddish is a 2D platformer featuring a radish who's a dad radish, daddish if you will. He is looking for his little radish sprogs who have all gone off an adventure in not the best locations safety wise. Also, there's a possum who screeches. The music in this game is brilliant and extremely memorable, but there's one track for me that is most memorable of all. This track I couldn't get out of my head for a long time, which was honestly very annoying. It was the boss music. Can you guess why it might have stuck in my head? Yes, that's right, because I couldn't beat the boss, so I was repeating the boss over and over again, and the rest is history.
Super Crate Box is a very addictive high score game, one I played a lot on the Vita and was so happy to see it come to Switch. Jumping around, shooting enemies out of your way, grabbing those boxes to up your score, changing your weapon every time you grab those aforementioned boxes, dying, then retrying for hours at a time. So for something to really hook you and become addictive, you need some incredibly catchy music. This may not be particularly well crafted music, it's quite simple, but it does the job. It's mostly those first few notes in that high tone. Let's listen to them again. The thing is, after I'd stopped playing this game for a while on the Vita, this song stayed in my head for a long time. It would not leave, and I could not remember where this music came from. It drove me insane. That is why it makes this list, because it became more memorable to me than the game itself. But now it's on the Switch and I've reacquainted my love with it, this game and its music will stay firmly in my memory.
Minute is a top-down action adventure where time is of the essence. You have a minute to live, and in this minute you have to find items and progress in the game before you die. You keep the things you've collected and start your minute-long life again. The soundtrack is a delightful accompaniment to the game, and the fact you only get a minute of the song before you die made me appreciate the music a lot more. The track that I remember most from Minute has to be Saba Saba Desert. It was exciting, it was motivating, it was adventurous. I could still hear it in my head even after I stopped playing the game, and it's a song that I've saved for later on my watch later list.
I mentioned earlier that catchy, memorable music doesn't need to be good. It can be incredibly annoying. And here we are with Pool Panic, a really fun and creative puzzle game where you are tasked with potting all the coloured balls and finishing with the black before potting yourself. The levels are so varied with all sorts of different means to get the balls where you want them. With different level themes comes different music. And overall, the standard is good, but not too memorable for me. Except for the song you hear every time you pass a level. That incessant wailing from your character is so annoying, so unbearable. But my god, it stayed in my head a lot longer than anything else in this game. Very annoying, like Hungry Baby. But unlike Hungry Baby, at least it's in a good game.
Everyone knows Stardew Valley, but for those who don't, Stardew Valley is a beautiful farming sim game that also has mining and crafting. Accompanying this beautiful game is a charming soundtrack that suits each season, event and area, and it complements the country lifestyle aesthetic that the game oozes. If you can't tell by now, I'm a huge Stardew Valley fan. The track that is most memorable for me in this game is Summer Nature's Crescendo. It's just such an upbeat and uplifting track that helps to motivate you, especially in the early stages of the game where you are watering crops, chopping the XX trees, clearing sticks and rocks, and just getting your farm into a workable environment. And with a quickly depleting stamina bar, for me, having motivation was most important. This track is suited to its namesake as it makes me feel like I'm walking in the countryside with the sun on my arms, getting a good dose of sunshine, and I can almost smell the sunscreen.
Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom was a game that I really looked forward to. Like with Yooka-Laylee, it was a spiritual successor to one of my favourite games from my childhood, and it did not disappoint. The transformations, the different moves, the art style, and really fun gameplay, it had it all. I also liked hearing familiar music from Wonder Boy 3 as well, what an excellent touch. But the new music is awesome as well. But which tune from here stayed in my head over every other? The opening song, of course.
Your journey began, it's time to go. The power of change will help you grow and set you free. Only you can save tomorrow.
Seeing this for the first time just blew me away. With the amazing animation, the vocals and the beat to it made me think of a Saturday morning cartoon, getting itself pumped for an adventure.
You'll see that not everything is what it seems to be. There's a beast within you, go and set it free. Listen to its voice. You're the morphin' hero, Monster Boy.
Radio Squid is a bullet hell style game with a Game Boy aesthetic. As you can probably tell by the name, music plays a big part in the game, as you obtain the siren song that activates your bullets, and these bullets go to the beat of the music. The whole game features brilliant tracks that has a mix of chill and techno beats and is highly motivating and really just great to listen to. The tracks also have great names such as Seafood Menu, Cephalopod Life and Architethys, which is also a great track. It means giant squid, by the way. But my most memorable music from this game has to be Phosphorescence. Phosphorescence features at the boss fights after each level. This track really made me feel excited and pumped, so much so that I would feel so motivated to get through a level just so I could hear it again.
So those are 10 indie video game music tracks that never leave our heads. What did you think of them? Have we just planted them in yours for all eternity?
Let us know down below if we've ruined your lives now, and get revenge by recommending incredibly catchy tracks for us to listen to, and subscribe while you're there, we'd like that.
Thanks so much for watching, see you in the next one.